Diplomat Captain Leorin Voss tried to make eye contact with the three-headed Jamek delegation before him in the interstellar negotiating room. Of course, that was impossible. The Jamek's eyes were completely invisible, or were they permanently in another dimension? No one was sure. If you admit to violating Article 12 of the Plavari Treaty, Leorin said gently but sharply, you also admit that the energy artillery standing behind you is no coincidence. The translator instantly translated the Jamek language into a human-like voice with a fluid click and vibrato. You humans are unparalleled in your dramatics. We only brought the artillery out of duty. Your questioning our hospitality is hurtful. Leorin grumbled internally. Whenever things started like this, things usually ended explosively. But this time, something deeper was at play. A dark current was circling the air. The doors to the negotiating room swung open silently at that very moment. When she entered, everything in the room fell silent, slender, yet possessing an extraordinary aura. Zirin was perhaps one of the most enigmatic beings in the universe, a figure who transcended gender but could be described as female in human perception. Her skin was the gray-blue tones that galactic dust takes on in starlight. Her eyes were deep, as if they held the memory of an ancient sky. Zirin looked into Leorin's eyes before speaking. But that gaze held far more than a message, and for a moment, Leorin's mind wandered. A child, a siren sound, a burning colonnade, a silhouette descending from the sky in Zirin's eyes. He seemed to see a face he had forgotten. The figure who had saved him, the figure whose face he could never quite remember. His heart began to pound in his chest. He felt as if a hole had opened in time. Was this woman, perhaps? Leorin had thousands of questions in his mind when he retired to his room after the meeting. The files on Zirin were limited. It only read, Zirin, race unknown, universal representative, known for her political neutrality, observer of the Universal High Council of Justice, date of registration, unknown. But meeting her couldn't have been a coincidence. As a child, he had miraculously survived the attack on the Yamada colony. His mother, father, the entire colony were destroyed. He was the only survivor. His own memories were hazy, incomplete. All he remembered was a giant silhouette pulling him from the flames. And then a long sleep. Zirin's eyes brought him back to that moment. The next morning, Leorin was taken for a psychological stabilizer test by an officer. He knew it was routine for the negotiation corps, but the man standing over the device was his old friend, Jarlax, a half-mad Kalthorian scientist. Leo Wuran, Jarlax said, waving all four of his arms. You look like you've got a starburst in your head. Have you been dreaming? Have you been lost in the past again? Or has the galactic beauty, Zirin, stolen your heart? Don't be ridiculous, Jarlax, Leorin said, but he smiled. Just something strange happened. Zirin and I made eye contact, and Jarlax dropped his glasses and picked them up, accidentally spitting the chewed space peanuts he had in his mouth onto the table. Tell me everything. That night, Leorin took a break from diplomatic meetings and followed Zirin. He found her in the Shantu Gardens, meditating among the light-nourished plants, gazing up at the stars. Do you know me? Leorin asked directly. Zirin didn't answer, but then he parted his lips. Once upon a time, there was a child. He walked among the ashes, and his eyes still searched for hope in the darkness. That was me. You were chosen, Zirin said. But not just for your salvation, for your return. Leorin had never been so stunned in his life. This encounter was no ordinary diplomatic incident. It was the beginning of a cycle. Zirin's final words echoed in his mind. Soon, the fate of the entire galaxy will be determined by a choice, and you will decide again. Viralen System Council Complex, Level 7. Shadow Wing. Leorin woke up this morning, his mind still foggy. Was he dreaming, or had last night's conversation with Zirin actually happened? As he tried to silence his Inner voice. A notification appeared on his room screen. SFERIKON. Diplomatic game initiating. All diplomats required, he sighed. Diplomatic games were usually dull, political chess sessions, but this one was different. Spherocon was a complex virtual reality strategy game held for centuries, where galactic political balances were shaped behind the scenes. But it had only one rule. Only one person wins. The others lose, and at the end of each game, a real state collapsed. As he entered his capsule, Jarlax leaned close to his ear. You're lucky. In today's scenario, you've been assigned the role of humanity representative. It's both nostalgia and pressure. Are they still marketing this as a fun game? Leorin asked. No, this time it's serious. Except for this one. Jarlax secretly pulled alien popcorn from his pocket and popped it into his mouth. At the end of this game, there will be a proposal for galaxy reunification. Zirin is the observer. So, double the pressure for you, hee hee. The capsule closed. Leorin was plunged into darkness. The world inside the Spherocon was uncannily realistic. An artificial planet with orange-tinged suns and curvy architecture. CA Lexus-9. Here. Leorin found himself the leader of a city-state. The other diplomat players facing him began making their intriguing moves. Impersonating different races. The strangest thing was this. Some of the characters spoke the same way they did in the real world. For example, the Jamek delegate, Youth Telnogro, sabotaged a port city. The Vordraxians proposed a peace attack, and Zarin was even in the game. But his character seemed passive. He wasn't making any moves. He was just staring. In the second round, a city exploded. Leorin's character was nearly killed. Normally, in-game deaths were harmless, but this time it was different. Leorin felt real pain. On the monitors outside the capsule, Jarlax panicked. This can't be happening. The game code is being manipulated from the outside. Someone's trying to kill from the inside. At that moment, a spindly creature with sharp nails had infiltrated the lab. A Blintok, a comical-looking but deadly assassin species, dropped down the vent and shouted, "Mission, draw Leorin." Jarlax screamed, grabbing a laser furnace in one hand and an alien broom in the other. Damn Blintoks. They always arrive on Spherocon time. While inside the capsule, Leorin called Zarin to him for a moment. This isn't real, is it? Zarin spoke in his mind. Her voice wasn't real, but her words echoed. Reality is what you choose, Leorin. Everything here is a simulation of your destiny. This game isn't just entertainment. If you choose the past, you lose the future. In another move, Leorin's character entered an archive building within the Spherocon, and there, he encountered scenes from the Yamato 4 colony massacre, and a moment, burning buildings little Leorin amidst the flames. And that figure, a savior, his face hidden. This time, his face was revealed, and it resembled Zarin. Leorin was in a position to make the winning move at the end of the game. However, there were two options on the board. Diplomatic unification increases humanity's power but crushes other races. Peaceful solution sacrifices humanity but secures a long-term alliance. All eyes were on him. The real world and the simulation were intertwined. Zarin just stared again, and when Leorin reached the moment of decision, he thought only one thing: I cannot choose the future without dealing with my past. When Leorin returned to reality after the selection on Spherocon, he knew there was no turning back. The only place to unlock the memories, to unravel the veil of secrets, was the Blackall Archive planet, the galaxy's largest, most guarded, and most mysterious repository of information. Mission, opening the gate to the past. Leorin, accompanied by Jarlax, made his way through the narrow, cold corridors of the archive complex. Every corner was filled with whispers of history and forgotten destinies. You know, Jarlax said, there's a legend in Blackall. Every archivist must one day confront their past, then they vanish. Leorin replied with a wry smile. Today is the day. I won't vanish. I will find, in the archive room, an ancient datasphere, opened before Leorin. Inside it were images of that terrible night on Yamada-4. Child. Leorin runs in panic, fleeing the fire, the fallen colonists around him, and then, a figure emerges from the darkness, mysterious and graceful. It reaches out, embraces little Leorin, and carries him away. But this time, the figure's face is clearly visible, and surprisingly, that face is Zarin. Leorin closed the datasphere and took a deep breath. Were you the one who saved me that night? Zarin suddenly appeared, her holographic form in the archive's corridor. Yes, she said. I had to help you, but my true reason is more complex. What do you mean? Leorin asked. You weren't just a child, Zarin said. There's a power within you that will change the future of humanity. Before you even realize it, I had to protect you. Just then, a cold, sharp voice rose from the corner of the corridor. Asterisk, is power so important? Zarin, a figure dressed in dark armor, his face hidden in shadow, entered Velrath, one of the most feared mercenaries in the galaxy. Velrath, Leorin said through gritted teeth. Are you after me again? Always, child. Because it's not me who's after you, it's my job. Velrath drew his energy sword and began to shake the corridors. Asterisk. Leorin drew his weapon and fought Velrath. But Leorin was a diplomat, not a warrior. Jarlax threw an energy blaster after him. Cap, Jarlax shouted. A high-speed chase began through the dark corridors, filled with explosions, laser beams, and surprise escapes. Leorin's heart was about to explode with both fear and adrenaline. Zarin, however, shielded Leorin with her invisibility. She whispered to him, Remember, your greatest power lies in your choices, Leorin, and that power will be revealed when you unlock the secrets of the past. At the end of the corridors, Leorin found an ancient door. It was carved with a combination of human and alien symbols. This door will unlock the past, Zarin said, and with a deep breath, Leorin touched the door. When Leorin touched the door, it slowly opened. Inside was a mystical chamber filled with shimmering stardust. Images of various eras of the universe streamed across the walls. Zarin was beside him, but no longer an ordinary observer. It was as if the moment he had long awaited had arrived. Here, Zarin said, lies the second face of Ithra. Ithra is the memory and power of our race. It is connected to you. Leorin looked at him in surprise. With me? How? Zarin continued. You are not just a diplomat, Leorin. You are the human reflection of Ithra. That is why I saved you that night. Leorin held his breath. Then all my choices are my destiny. Yes, Zarin agreed. And now, the power must unite with you. At that moment, the door crashed open. Velrath entered, sword-wielding his dark warriors at his side. I cannot stand where human and alien forces meet, Velrath said with a wry smile. Leo stepped forward to protect Zarin. Today is your last battle, An intense battle ensued. Leorin and Velrath clashed with powerful swords and wits, while Zarin unleashed her powers, illuminating the scene. Jarlax in the background challenged Velrath's soldiers with unimaginable technical devices. In the midst of the battle, Leorin lunged at Velrath, but Zarin, with an unexpected move, saved him and forced him away. Power is not yours now, Leorin. It must wait, she said. In a safe place, Leorin and Zarin had a deep conversation. Why did you choose me? Leorin asked. Because you represent the human power of choice, Zarin said, and the fate of the galaxy will be shaped by that choice. A determined expression appeared on Leorin's face. So, what must I do to win this war? Zarin placed a hand on Leorin's shoulder. Prepare. The heart of the galaxy will now beat with your decisions. In the assembly filled with the galaxy's greatest powers, representatives of humanity and other races, a fateful moment was approaching. Leorin, in his diplomatic role, was at the center of this meeting. Siren stood silently beside him, the weight of dark secrets etched on his face. Leorin stepped to the microphone. Today, we will make a crucial choice, not just for us, but for the entire galaxy. All races' gazes were on him. After the Spheros game, the consequences of this real game would affect all living beings. Memories suddenly flooded back. His childhood, his rescue, his battles with Velrath. Leorin pulled himself together and said, "Strength lies not in war, but in choice. The essence should not be destroying one and strengthening the other, but in learning to live together." Saren spoke to the gathering. "I am not just a savior. I am also a guardian who maintains the balance of the galaxy. Leorin's power can usher in a new era." These words echoed throughout the hall. Some were skeptical, others hopeful. At that very moment, Velrath's soldiers attacked the council. The battle began. Leorin and Zirin fought together. This time, Leorin was in full control of his power. When the attack stopped, Leorin presented two options for the galaxy's future: a strong, oppressive federation and inclusive, peaceful union. The meeting fell silent. Leorin took a deep breath and said, "I choose the second." The galaxy entered a new era. Old hostilities gave way to hope and cooperation. Liorn, Zirin, and Jarlax set sail for new adventures among the stars. And Leorin, finally, embraced his past and looked to the future with hope.